Hello students. In the last lecture, we had discussed about different states of matter. So, today we are going to start the topic change in states of matter. Now, after the different states of matter, we are having another topic, that is change in states of matter. Means what? We can change the state of matter from one form to the other form. Means solid can be get converted into the liquid, liquid can be get converted into the gases, and vice versa. Clear? So, the change in state of matter depends on two factors. First is effect of temperature and second is effect of pressure. Means what? If we increase the temperature or decrease the temperature, there will be change in states of matter, and when we increase or decrease the pressure, then also there will be change in state of matter. Now let's start with the effect of temperature and specifically on the solid state. So today we are going to start effect of temperature on solid state. Clear? Now what happens when we heat ice cubes? Take some ice cubes, just heat it. What will happen? It will get converted into the water, right? Means what? With the increase of temperature, solid state get converted into the liquid state. Clear? So with the increase in temperature, solid state gets converted into liquid state, and this process is called as melting. So students, do remember, change in solid state, change of solid state into the liquid state is called as melting. So whenever we increase the temperature of the solid state, it gets converted into the liquid state. Now if a question came in your mind, why it happens, right? So it happens because of the kinetic energy factor. Got it? As when energy increases, temperature is what? A form of energy. As temperature increases, the movement of particles increases, right? And when the movement of particle increases, there will be more kinetic energy. You can see here, these are the particles of the solid state. As we increase the temperature, what will happen? The motion of the particles, means the vibration of the particles, increases. The particles start vibrating with more speed, right? Now a point or a temperature will come when this vibration exceeds the limit, and this becomes far apart, or it creates some spaces between them. Now if the spaces between the particles increases, then definitely the solid state get converted into the liquid state, right? So this is the reason behind the melting. When we increase the temperature, what will happen? When we increase the temperature, the particles of solid state start vibrating with more speed, and the kinetic energy of the particle increases. And since the kinetic energy of particles increases and its motion increases, a temperature will come when this force of attraction is overcome by the temperature, and at that state the particles goes far apart. And when there is a gap between the particles more than the solid state, then that will be case of the liquid states. That's why with the increase in temperature, the solid state gets converted into the liquid state. Got it? Now here we get a term melting, right? What is this melting? Melting is a physical process of conversion of solid state into the liquid state. Correct? Now the one more term can come from here, melting point. What is this melting point? Students, melting point means what? A certain temperature. Clear? So the temperature at which solid substance melts and changes into liquid state at atmospheric pressure is called as melting point of substances. So melting point is that much of temperature where solid substances gets converted into the liquid substances at atmospheric pressure. That is called as melting point. Now melting point is a characteristic feature of every solids. The melting point of each and every solid is fixed, right? As for example, we can say melting point of of ice is 0 degree Celsius. Correct? Melting point of iron is 1536 degrees Celsius and so on. Clear? So, melting point is a characteristic feature of every solid because the fixed temperature is required to get converted into the liquid state. Right? So, whenever we increase the temperature on the solid state, there will be conversion of that solid substance or solid state into the liquid state by the process of melting, and the temperature at which that conversion takes place is called as melting point. So, after the melting point after the melting point of solid, we are having a very important topic, that is latent heat of fusion. Student, it is very important topic, right? This will definitely come in your exam. Latent heat of fusion. Now, in your NCERT or in your side book also, the term is not very clear, right? The term latent means hidden. So, in your NCERT or in other textbooks, it is just written as hidden heat is called as fusion. But what is this hidden heat? From where it gets come into the solid particles, right? For that, we have to know the process first. Now, just take one of the example or conduct one experiment in your home. This is a very convenient one. You can conduct it in your home also. So, just take some of the ice cubes in a beaker, right? Put a thermometer inside the ice cubes and start giving heat to that of the beaker. Clear? What will happen? The ice cube starts melting. The ice cubes get converted into the water and you have the reading of 0 degree Celsius in the thermometer. After that, you continue or your supply of the heat, but there will be no any rise in the thermometer reading. Then where that energy goes? Right? आपने आइस क्यूब्स दिया, उसके अंदर थर्मोमीटर डाला और आप हीट एनर्जी देना शुरू कर रहे हो, तो क्या होगा? कुछ समय के बाद 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस आ जाएगा और आपका आइस क्यूब्स लिक्विड में कन्वर्ट होना शुरू हो जाएगा. आप एनर्जी सप्लाई बंद नहीं किए हो, वो दे ही रहे हो, बट आपका जो टेम्परेचर रीडिंग है, जो थर्मोमीटर रीडिंग है, वो चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, वो वहीं पे है. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? अगर वो थर्मोमीटर रीडिंग वहीं पे है, इट मीन्स व्हाट? कहीं ना कहीं तो जो एनर्जी हम सप्लाई कर रहे हैं वो जा रहा है. वो एनर्जी जाके सॉलिड पार्टिकल्स के बीच में एब्जॉर्ब होता है और सॉलिड पार्टिकल्स उसको एब्जॉर्ब करके हिडन फॉर्म में रखते हैं, राइट? दैट हिडन or stored energy is called as latent heat of fusion. Since this energy which is in the hidden form is stored in the solid particles during the process of fusion, that's why it is called as latent heat of fusion. So it is very clear what happens. एक सॉलिड पार्टिकल्स को जब हम लिक्विड में कन्वर्ट कर रहे होते हैं तो हमको थर्मोमीटर पे एक रीडिंग मिलती है. अगर हमने अपने टेम्परेचर की सप्लाई को बंद नहीं किया है, मीन्स व्हाट, एनर्जी सप्लाई को अगर हमने बंद नहीं किया है, तो जो एनर्जी हम सप्लाई कर रहे हैं वो एनर्जी कहाँ जा रहा है? वो पार्टिकल्स के बीच में स्टोर्ड होता जाता है, राइट? एंड वो जो पार्टिकल्स के बीच में स्टोर्ड एनर्जी है, वही एनर्जी क्या होता है? लैटेंट हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन. सो व्हेन अ सॉलिड melts, its temperature remains constant during the process of melting. Since this heat energy is absorbed by the solid without showing any rise in temperature, this absorbed heat, which is in hidden form, is called as latent heat of fusion. And this is the reason, अगर आप आइस क्यूब्स को थोड़ी देर तक अपने पाम में रखोगे, फिर उसको थ्रो कर दोगे, तो आप थोड़ी देर के बाद बर्निंग सेंसेशन फील करोगे पाम में. This is due to the latent heat of that ice cubes. Clear? So, this is just the explanatory part of the latent heat of fusion. If you come to the definition part, that will be the amount of heat required to change 1 gram of solid into liquid at 1 atmospheric pressure at its melting point is called latent heat of fusion. Clear? Means what? Heat energy which is required to convert 1 gram of solid into liquid at 1 atmospheric pressure at its melting point. Now this is a very important term. If you forget to write this melting point, आपका पूरा marks cut हो जाना है. Okay? Because after the melting point, after the temperature reaches the melting point of solid, then only latent heat starts storing. Right? क्योंकि क्या हो रहा है, मेल्टिंग से पहले जो हम एनर्जी दे रहे हैं वो एनर्जी तो सब्सटेंस को मेल्ट कराने में चला जा रहा है, राइट। और मेल्टिंग के बाद क्या हो रहा है कि जब मेल्टिंग पॉइंट रीच कर गया उसके बाद की जो एनर्जी है वो जाके पार्टिकल्स में स्टोर होना शुरू हो रहा है, एंड वो जो पार्टिकल्स में स्टोर्ड एनर्जी हो रहा है वो एक्चुअली में हमारा लैटेंट हीट है। इसीलिए सारा टर्म्स लिखना बहुत जरूरी है। अमाउंट ऑफ हीट रिक्वायर्ड टू चेंज 1 ग्राम ऑफ सॉलिड इनटू लिक्विड एट 1 एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर at its melting point is called as latent heat of fusion, right? So just to remember the definition and the explanation, both parts, right? So today we just discussed the change in state of matter, that is specifically in the solid state due to the temperature, in which we got to learn about whenever we increase the temperature of the solid substances, it get converted to the liquid substances by the process of melting, and at the temperature at which this conversion of states takes place is called as melting point. And the stored energy after the melting point in the solid state is called as latent heat of fusion. In the next lecture, we'll continue with the change in liquid state due to increase or decrease of temperature.